started with Unit 4 here is going to be modeling distributions of data. Being the nerd geek and statistics mind that I am, Unit 4 is one of my favorite units. I just think that has a lot of useful stuff in there when analyzing data. So it kind of picks up where Unit 3 leaves off, but we're going to be doing a little bit more of a deep analysis when it comes to looking at data and trying to interpret what data means. So Chapter 4 is another one that will take you about 3 weeks to complete. Everything in Chapter 4 will go on the next quarter's grade. So if you're taking this in first semester, it's going to go on quarter 2. If you're taking this in second semester, it's going to go on quarter 4. So even if you're working ahead and completing things in quarter 3 for Chapter 4, everything's going on to the Chapter 4 grade book. As usual, make sure you're taking the Unit 4 notes. In this case, I have a quick form for you to fill out that will help us with a discussion later. So make sure you fill out that form before you start anything else, which you're going to have to do anyway. And then we start getting into the notes. The first 2 videos here are probably going to take you about 3 days to get through. The videos are a little bit longer, but then you just have a couple more assignments with each one than normal. And the material is starting to get a little bit more difficult. So for the first 2 videos, first 5 sets of homework, you're going to be looking at about 3 days each. Then before you get to the second half of Chapter 4, make sure you print this what's called a standardized value chart, and make sure you make sure you watch this video on how to read your standardized chart. This is something you've probably never looked at before, so you need to make sure that you watch that video before you move on to Learning Target 4.6. 4.6 and 4.7 will take you about 2 days each, and then take about 3 days or so to review your notes, work on this Unit 4 review assignment before finishing with the Unit 4 discussion. Now, one thing I want to just click on here in the Unit 4 discussion, you are going to have to wait on the Unit 4 discussion if you are working ahead. You might need to come back, because when you enter in your height into the form at the beginning of Chapter 4, I've already entered mine in there as just a starting point. But when you enter in your height, you are going to, all the data is going to be here, and we are going to see these numbers change. So I want you to wait until there are, I believe we're at up to like 35 responses. I want everybody to get in there. So I think there's 34 of us, plus 1 would mean 35. Whatever it is, I will make sure I have this number updated so that you know if you should fill out this or if you should use this discussion post or not. Otherwise, like I said, you might have to come back to it, in which case I would have to override the completion system. So make sure you just let me know if that is the case. So you're going to complete that discussion, hopefully before you do the test. If not a big deal. Like I said, we can come back to it later. But then you will take the Unit 4 test, obviously, once you are all done. Okay. Like I said, in Chapter 4, what you're doing is you're interpreting data in a different way. I use this stuff all the time just when I'm doing kind of my own data analysis. So hope you guys end up liking it as much as I do, or at least finding it interesting.